The information presented on this program is provided for informational purposes only, without warranty of accuracy, completeness, or suitability for a particular purpose. This program is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. This information is general in nature and not specific enough to be construed as advice. You should not make any decision based on the information presented on this program without independent consultation with an appropriately licensed professional or competent advisor. Investment in securities or the market involves a potential risk for loss of principal. Trading, therefore, may not be suitable for all listeners. Annuity guarantees are based solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing company. Withdrawals of growth from annuities may be taxable as ordinary income in the year it is taken. Individuals should review contracts for specific details of the product's features and costs.
And welcome into Your Game Plan for Retirement, where we always check in with author of the book, Income Allocation, David Gaylor. And David, you have talked about the dangers presented by longevity. Now, we all want to live longer, healthier, happier lifetimes, but there's an inherent financial danger when it involves our longevity. Can you tell folks what they need to realize about the dangers involved with longevity?
A long life can be a blessing. However, longevity is a multiplier of risk in retirement. The longer I live, the chances that I can withdraw too much money, the stock market can go down, inflation can affect my buying power. There's so many things that longevity increases the risk for in retirement. We really need to understand longevity as a risk class and a risk multiplier all unto itself.
Well, folks, certain financial strategies can help turn longevity back from a risk to a blessing and make sure that you're enjoying your longer lifetime and not allowing it to leave you more concerned that you will be running out of money during your lifetime. And your team of local income allocation advisors from ASC Financial are your resources across the Lehigh Valley and the Poconos to find out about these strategies. And David, you would like to introduce your good friend Ralph Grauso as the Lehigh Valley and the Poconos resource for income allocation.
I've known Ralph and Josiah for almost 10 years now, and they've become very, very dear friends to me. I know their family well. We've traveled together. And I want to tell you, the Poconos in Allentown, give them a call at 800-939-8633. Schedule some time to visit with Ralph and Josiah Grauso.
For millions of Americans who retire every year, the task of ensuring that your money is working hard enough to provide you with a consistent paycheck can make the job of working for that paycheck seem easy. Retirement doesn't signal the end of financial worry. In fact, for the majority of retirees, it's just the beginning. The assets you have built must be able to provide you and your family with financial security for all the years to come. That's why you need a game plan for retirement, making sure you have a plan and that your money is working hard to provide you with an income you can depend on. This is Your Game Plan for Retirement.
And welcome back into Your Game Plan for Retirement, where we discuss the freedom created through reliable streams of retirement income. We also challenge some of the traditional financial planning concepts and outdated conventional wisdom of Wall Street on building for financial success. We talk about the income allocation model that has proven to provide for more financial freedom. And we always check in with your local income allocation coach on the program, president and founder of ASC Financial Group in the Lehigh Valley and the Poconos. He is Ralph Grauso. Ralph, welcome back to Your Game Plan for Retirement.
Good to be with you this morning again, Peter.
Well, thank you for joining us. I do want to remind the listeners that if they do have questions or concerns of their own financial planning, or if they would like a complimentary review and evaluation of their game plan for retirement, all you have to do, folks, is pick up the phone and give a call to the team from ASC Financial Group, a retirement built to last, 800-939-8633. Again, that number, 800-939-8633. Well, Ralph, new actuary tables are out, and surprise, surprise, again we find that we are living longer and longer lifetimes. It, on the surface level, seems to be a good thing that we are living longer lifetimes. I think people envision and desire a longer lifetime. Get all those things that we've always wanted to do into one short lifetime here. However, I would have to imagine that the longer lifespan, specifically the longer retirement lifespan, is making your job of helping people retire successfully and creating a retirement built to last a little bit more challenging.
You know, Peter, latest statistics, as you point out, if there's a couple right now that are age 65 in reasonably good health, the odds of one of them celebrating their 92nd birthday is extremely high. So we do have to start planning for a 25-year retirement. Years ago, the challenge was making it to retirement, but today the challenge is making it through retirement. So we've got to look at a long period of time for our savings and our investments to channel income to us over that period of time. And longevity risk becomes an extremely problem that many people face, and they, again, don't even realize they're facing it. And so let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. If I retire, let's say I'm 65, and I pass away at 67, well, the risk of me going into a nursing home really wasn't there. If I retire at 65 and pass away at 68, and 2 years later the stock market crashes, well, market risk really wasn't a concern. And so what we're saying here is that longevity risk is a multiplier of all these other risks. And what we need to do is take longevity risk off the table. And we can do that by providing guaranteed income so that no matter how long we live, whether it's 2, 3 years or 20, 30 years, we've got enough income coming in.
And some of the sources of traditional guaranteed income in retirement, Ralph, such as Social Security and pensions, those sources actually did address this concern of longevity. They did not have that factor of longevity risk associated with them. But as we are looking at our personal savings, that's really where this longevity risk rears its head, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true, Peter. Understand that, many people years ago were retiring with guaranteed income from a pension. They had Social Security. So, income-wise, they were okay. But today, many people are retiring without a guaranteed pension. And Social Security is not equipped to do the whole job. It was never meant to do the whole job. So in many cases, we've got to supplement income on top of that Social Security from our savings. If it's predictable guaranteed income like a pension, we're now addressing this longevity risk.
I guess it makes sense, but I still find it interesting, Ralph, that as actuarial statistics show us, the older we get, the expectation should be that we will live even longer. In other words, if we are looking at the life expectancy of a 50-year-old, maybe it's not even quite as long as the life expectancy of a 65-year-old. Because we've made it further, it indicates that we will make it therefore even further in our lifetimes. And that's not really a thought process, I think, that on the surface level a lot of people comprehend, but it does make sense. The fact that we've made it this far indicates that we're going to keep going, correct?
Peter, my dad right now is 90, my mom is 87, my grandmother passed away at 93, and I look at my family history, there's some longevity there. And I think for our listeners out there, they could probably say the same thing. So we do have to be planning, as we reach 65, 70 years old, that if we're in relatively good health, doesn't have to be perfect health, but, the odds, the chances of living 20, 30 years is going to be very good.
Well, since retirement used to be a much shorter proposition and time period, people used to, maybe a couple generations ago, just try to make it to retirement rather than trying to make it through an extended retirement. Because we are now living maybe as long as we have been working in retirement, in other words, a lot of people start their careers at 25, 30 years old. They want to retire around 60, 65. They may have just as long in retirement as they have been working. Because we have this longer potential time horizon in retirement, Ralph, do you feel that people need to perhaps adjust their expectations for what retirement should be?
Well, Peter, yes. I think that they have to understand that, the number one fear of many people is outliving their money. Yet it amazes me that when we sit down with folks that are in retirement already, some of them have been in retirement 5 or 10 years, have never really, their plan that they have does not address that issue of longevity. Again, statistically speaking, if I'm going to live 20 or 30 years and I don't have a plan to give me some guaranteed income throughout my entire lifetime, that can never run out, this is going to become an issue.
Pensions are more and more on the endangered species list, if already not near extinction, and Social Security is not truly designed to cover and account for 100% of the income that we're going to need in retirement, Ralph. Are there ways that a saver, an investor, a retiree or pre-retiree can overcome this longevity risk and maybe recreate the type of stability that was traditionally provided by a pension and Social Security?
Peter, one of the ways to do that is through an annuity. If you look at a pension, if you look at Social Security, that's exactly what it is. It's an annuity. And an annuity is basically a vehicle that is going to provide you with guaranteed income for the rest of your life. It's the only vehicle out there that will do that. Your CD, your mutual fund, your stock could provide income, but if those accounts fall to zero, your income stops. You run out of money. And so an annuity, again, is the only form of savings that will provide for a guaranteed income. Now, what our listeners have to understand is there are different types of annuities. Some are good and some are bad. In fact, we do an evaluation on that. We do some educational courses that we dive in and take a look at annuities. They're one of the most misunderstood vehicles out there. Again, there are some that I would consider are very poor. I would not put any money towards them. And there are some that really make a lot of sense, particularly for folks that do not want to take risk, but yet need an above-average rate of return that they cannot achieve in the banks.
Well, I would like to talk a little bit more about annuities specifically and how they deal with longevity risk in just a moment. But you mentioned some of the courses that you teach, and I'm willing to imagine that you probably cover longevity risk in some of those courses as well as some aspects of annuities. However, I know that's not all that you cover and that you do have some courses upcoming that people could attend. Can you talk with us a little bit about your schedule for the courses and events that you're holding and what some of the material and information you'll be covering will be?
Yes, sure. We are sponsored by Northampton Community College in both the Bethlehem and the Monroe campus. These are offered through their adult education curriculum, and it's a 2-day class. You have a choice of a morning or an afternoon. It's typically 2.5 hours at each class. And what the student is going to learn is to identify, what are the primary threats of your retirement savings? How can you plan your retirement income to preserve a comfortable lifestyle? How can you apply strategies to increase your Social Security retirement benefits? Tax efficiency of your accounts. How does taxes play into your investments? And then we need to look at evaluating health care and long-term care, end-of-life decisions, and then finally the distribution of our wealth, the transfer of our wealth to our loved ones. This is all in these classes, and we're going to be having in the Lehigh Valley listeners, for the Lehigh Valley listeners, we'll be starting classes on August 23rd. That's a Tuesday. 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. The second part of the class will be the following week on the 30th. Or you can do an afternoon class, which would be Thursday, August 25th, and follow-up class on September 1st. And you can contact the school directly to get more information and to register. And then for our Pocono area listeners, we're doing a class September 6th and 13th. That's a morning class. And 8th and 15th of September would be the afternoon. And then September 27th and October 4th and September 29th and October 8th. That's at the Tannersville Monroe campus of Northampton Community College. Again, you can contact the schools or you can give us a call and we can get you the information and get you registered for those classes.
Well, obviously, all important factors for you to be aware of as you are planning and preparing for your financial future to make it to and through retirement. And the team from ASC Financial Group, they believe in the motto and help you build a retirement built to last. If you would like more information on those upcoming events, pick up the phone and give a call, 800-939-8633, the number to call for some additional details. Again, that's 800-939-8633 to find out more about those upcoming courses, 800-939-8633. Now, Ralph, back to our discussion of longevity. You mentioned that annuities were one potential way to overcome the risk created by a longer lifetime, by longevity. And you pointed out the fact that Social Security and pensions were in fact forms of annuities. And I think that people are very fond of the income streams that are created through Social Security and pensions. Here is where I find that people have a negative connotation in their mind and a big objection to annuities. While Social Security and pensions do a great job if I live a long time, in fact, can be the most valuable component of my financial plan if I live a long time, there isn't any benefit that transfers on if I don't live a long time. And that to me has always seemed to be a hanging point when discussing annuities, in the fact that if I die the day after I choose my pension benefit, my family might not receive a dime of that. And if I pass away early, one of the Social Security payments is going to go back into the pool to pay people who have lived a long time. In other words, that's not really my money. So why is it that annuities are a form of protection against longevity, but also how can you address that concern that I might lose my money if I don't live a long time?
You know, that's a very good point, Peter, and that's what we talk about is control. When I elect a pension option through my company, I've basically given up control of that money. And as you pointed out, if I have a premature death or die too soon, the balance of that money is typically not paid out to my family, whereby a private pension plan through an annuity, any balances left in my account is going to be paid out to my family. So in effect, I'm controlling that money, and that money is going to either be distributed to me in the form of guaranteed income for as long as I live, or if there are any balances left in those accounts, they will be transferred to my loved ones. And another benefit of that is that when those type of distributions are made at my death, it is free of probate and goes directly to the beneficiaries. So there's some distinct advantages to utilizing that type of a plan, not only from an income point of view, but also from an estate planning point of view and the distribution of my money to my loved ones.
Well, when the money does transfer, the fact that that transfer happens probate-free, that certainly is an advantage. But Ralph, can you speak to the fact, do all private annuities behave that way in that they do transfer any remaining balance to our families?
Well, again, as I pointed out before, there's some good annuities and some bad annuities. We've got to look at that. It's possible that there are some type of annuity payouts whereby if you die too soon, they keep the money. So, see, it's knowing what questions to ask. It's being educated and understanding the pros and the cons. And at the end of the day, Peter, whether it's an annuity, whether it's a stock portfolio, there is no perfect plan out there. But we have to address and understand what our options are, what are the negatives, what are the positives, and then weigh out, is that right for me? And that's the process that we bring folks through when they come to see us. It's an educational process. It's not sales hype, but it's educational so that we can look at and evaluate in layman's terms what's the best strategy for that particular individual or couple as they go through retirement.
And folks, for that unbiased type of approach to building for your retirement, to evaluating what financial tools are best suited to reach and achieve your goals, pick up the phone and give the team from ASC Financial Group a call. A retirement built to last is their motto, and that's what they will help build for you. 800-939-8633, the number to call. 800-939-8633. And checking back in with the author of the book, Income Allocation, David Gaylor, joining us again on the program. David, you are also continuing to see that retirement is more and more of a challenge for retirees. Do you see that as we move into the future, this retirement challenge is going to be eased, or do you predict that we continue to see increasing difficulty as we try to plan and prepare for a successful retirement?
Well, I believe the solutions, Peter, are more simple than what people think, but I do believe the challenge is going to continue to get greater. The reason for that, first and foremost, is we're living longer, and it's harder in this day and age right now to generate a decent rate of return. It seems like we're having to take more and more risk just to get rates of return that we used to maybe take for granted. So the very first thing we have to understand in retirement planning is longevity. The Society of Actuaries a couple of years ago revised our life expectancy numbers, and they're going up, and they're continuing to increase. What we're finding is we're adding maybe about 2 years to our lifespan every decade. So this is something that we need to build into our retirement planning. I met with a lot of people from the last generation who their life expectancy was 77 or 78, and they built a financial plan to last until 77 or 78. And a lot of those people lived to 85, 90, or 95. And their plan did not support their life expectancy, and many of them face great challenges later in life.
Well, folks, again, by following the traditional Wall Street model, which tells us to keep our assets invested, and that investment should be able to carry us through retirement, we have continued to see these risks increase. But David Gaylor has promoted the income allocation model to help reduce or eliminate some of the concerns, some of the worries, some of the risks that are leading to increased difficulty in retirement. And across Allentown and the Poconos, your local income allocation advisors are the team from ASC Financial Group, a retirement built to last. Ralph and Josiah Grauso can certainly help you design a game plan for retirement that is built to last. And if you have questions for them or would like to sit down for a complimentary review and evaluation, pick up your phone right now and give them a call. 800-939-8633, the number to call. Again, that's 800-939-8633. And Ralph, if somebody is concerned with longevity, with making sure that their money is going to last, maybe they have an investment portfolio, maybe they have an annuity or a pension benefit that they will be entitled to or collecting at some point in time. Are you able to help them review and evaluate that to make sure that it is the best choice to meet their goals, that it addresses the concern of longevity, but also maintains as much control as possible for those funds to be passed on generationally and to their beneficiaries?
Actually, Peter, that's the first step. We've got to look at an evaluation. If I go to a doctor, what is he going to do before he makes any type of diagnosis, before he makes any kind of a prognosis of my situation? He's going to do an evaluation of my health. He's going to maybe run some tests to see how different things are performing. Well, we've got to do the same thing with our money, and it all starts first with evaluating where we're at, and then from there we can determine what needs to take place. There are times, Peter, when folks will come in to see us and they are set up fine. They utilizing strategies that are providing for guaranteed income, and they're doing it in a low-fee environment. And we'll tell them, look, you're fine. There's really no adjustments. But many, many times we meet with folks, and either they don't understand what they have, they don't understand the fees that they're paying, and they're taking a lot of exposure. They're exposing their savings, their retirement, to the volatility of the stock market.
Do you feel, Ralph, that a lot of people do not have the necessary education for what is in their portfolio and what fees they are paying, what expenses might be in their portfolio, because that has not necessarily been of top concern while they were working or earning a paycheck, but it will become vitally important to them as they transition into retirement?
Peter, that's exactly why we partnershiped with Northampton Community College. And that's exactly why we offer the classes that we do. Is it's all about education. There used to be a commercial years ago, I think it was a clothing store, that said, an educated consumer is our best customer, our best client. We feel the same thing. The more educated you are, the more informed you are, the better decisions you're going to be making that are right for you. And that's really it. At the end of the day, someone needs to make a decision themselves that are right for them, not maybe right for the advisor or the financial institution, but what's right for them. And the education process will bring them through a process that they'll be able to evaluate for themselves, does this strategy make sense for my circumstance and my situation individually.
Well, folks, the team at ASC Financial Group does believe that the educational process and being informed does lead to having a retirement that is built to last, and that's why they take that education process so seriously. Along with the classes that they are offering, you can also take them up on their offer for a complimentary financial review and evaluation where they will help you better understand all the various aspects of your game plan for retirement. All you have to do to take them up on that offer is pick up the phone right now and give a call, 800-939-8633. That number again is 800-939-8633. And Ralph, on the program, we talk about the income allocation model. I know that you believe in this income allocation model for the power that it provides for a secure retirement. In fact, you even contributed to the book that was the authoritative work on the subject, which is income allocation. And you've talked about the necessary educational process of people becoming informed on what exactly an income allocation is and what it can provide for them. I know that you've given the offer for this book on previous shows. Is that something you're willing to extend again on today's show?
Peter, if any of our listeners are driving in the car or you're sitting at home and you're listening to this and you're approaching retirement, you may be in retirement, and you may need income either now or in the future, this is a must-read book. It's a quick read. It's one of those books you could read on an airplane ride, but it is extremely informative, and I'm a huge believer in income allocation. Again, that's why I contributed to the book, and yes, we will offer it. The only caveat, Peter, is anyone requesting the book, we're going to ask must be at least 50 or older, and we'd be more than happy to send them a free copy of the book.
Well, folks, if you would like to learn a little bit more in detail about some of the topics that you've heard here on the radio program, Your Game Plan for Retirement, then I do believe that the book, Income Allocation, is a must-read for you. Ralph Grauso contributed to that book. He believes in the income allocation model for the power that it provides for retirees to relax and enjoy retirement rather than constantly being concerned about running out of money. So pick up the phone, give a call to the team from ASC Financial Group. Not only do they have some great classes upcoming that are available for you to attend, they do offer that complimentary individual, no obligation review and evaluation, or if you would like to start with a little bit of education in reading the book, Income Allocation, you can start there as well. Again, for 50 or older, they will give you that book for absolutely no charge, for free, Income Allocation, to help you better understand some of the risks that today's modern retiree faces. 800-939-8633 is the number to call for any of those great offers. That's 800-939-8633. Again, that's 800-939-8633. Or if you are up on your modern technology and would like to text in, you can text ASC to the number 555-888. Again, just text ASC, the three letters ASC, to the number 555-888, or once again, give them a call at 800-939-8633. We're just about out of time on this edition of Your Game Plan for Retirement, but Ralph, we always appreciate you being here and the chat that we get to have with you. Thank you for your knowledge and your expertise.
Good to be with you again, Peter.
We'll look forward to talking with you again next week on Your Game Plan for Retirement. Remember, folks, the team from ASC Financial Group across the Lehigh Valley and the Poconos, they are there to help you with a retirement built to last. Give them a call at 800-939-8633, and we'll talk to you next week.
The content of this radio show is provided for informational purposes only and is not a solicitation or recommendation of any investment strategy. You are encouraged to seek investment, tax, or legal advice from an independent professional advisor. Any investments and/or investment strategies mentioned involve risk, including the possible loss of principal. Advisory services offered through Brookstone Capital Management, a registered investment advisor.
Ed Slott's Elite IRA Advisor Group is solely an indication that the financial advisor has attended training provided by Ed Slott and Company, passed biannual examinations on material covered at conferences and in webinars, and met other membership requirements, and does not constitute an endorsement of any kind. Ed Slott's Elite IRA Advisor Group members pay a fee for the educational programs that allow them to be included in the Ed Slott's Elite IRA Advisor Group. Membership does not guarantee investment success. Fiduciary duty extends solely to investment advisory advice and does not extend to other activities such as insurance or broker-dealer services. Advisory clients are charged a quarterly fee for assets under management, while insurance products pay a commission, which may result in a conflict of interest regarding compensation.